AAA Race Show. I'm your host, Austin Aziz. One Man of Fire, coming to you from the Stag Studio with my co-host over here, Jimmy. We are back for another episode of the AAA Race Show. It's episode number 58. We're going to have a great show today, and also just want to wish Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, especially Summer Z's, my mom, who we got to spend a lot of time with. Me and Dylan and Mom got to hang out a lot this weekend, and we actually have a little clip from that, so let's go ahead and play that now.
All right.
Oh, Christ.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
Cool. You heard about the party being busted, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Not to worry. There's a new fiesta in the making as we speak. It's out at the Moon Tower. Full kegs. Everybody's gonna be there. You ought to go.
Okay.
Okay, we'll be there.
Okay.
Say you need a ride?
No, I got my own car. Thanks.
Yeah, well listen, you ought to ditch the two geeks you're in the car with now and get in with us, but that's all right. We'll worry about that later. I will see you there. All right?
Bye.
Well, there it is. That was all of us hanging out this weekend. Man, what a great time it was. Anyways, let's talk about some NASCAR, starting off with the Truck Series. What a crazy end to this race. There were so many restarts and wrecks near the end, but Christian Eckes is able to hold on and get the win, so congratulations to him. Now, same thing in the Xfinity Series race. Not as many cautions, but definitely an exciting finish. Kyle Larson and John Hunter Nemechek get into it on the last lap. Kyle catches John Hunter, gets by him going down the backstretch, but John Hunter tries to make a run back to the inside and ends up turning himself off the left rear quarter panel of Kyle Larson's car. Saw that a lot throughout the weekend, and Kyle Larson goes on to win in the Xfinity Series. Congratulations to Kyle on that. Now, in the Cup Series, it was a different story for Kyle Larson. Martin Truex Jr. leads early, super fast car in that Toyota, and really no one can touch him. He wins the first stage and leads almost the entire second stage. But as we're coming to the end of the second stage, Ross Chastain gets by him, and Martin Truex Jr. wants that stage win back. Well, he is trying everything that he can. And that's when it's time to take out the trash for this week's Trash Move of the Race, brought to you by Ozark Mountain Sanitation out of Fairgrove, Missouri. If you want your trash taken down right every single week on the same day, make sure you call up Ozark Mountain Sanitation, because they are the best trash service in the nation. Now, this week's Trash Move of the Race is Martin Truex Jr. on Ross Chastain, when these guys are trying to get by each other. And, well, Martin Truex Jr., he ends up turning himself off of Ross Chastain and ultimately losing his chance to win. So, tough break there for Martin Truex Jr. You shouldn't be racing that hard for a stage win. For the win of the race, well, that's kind of reasonable, but not for a stage win. That's giving up too much too early. Well, moving on, Ross Chastain gets the lead back, and we do a couple green flag laps here, and then we see a wheel come off, and that's whenever we have our Dang, that's a doozy! Dang, That's a Doozy is brought to you by D&D Welding Fabrication out of Buffalo, Missouri. If it's made out of metal, or you need it made out of metal, D&D Welding Fabrication are the guys to go to. D&D at 417-267-2224 can take care of all your metal working needs. Now, this week's Dang That's a Doozy comes whenever Eric Jones loses a right rear tire, and he stacks up a lot of the field. And this is a really big wreck. We normally don't see this big of wrecks at places like Darlington. We normally see 1, 2, 3, 4 car pileups, so it was really interesting to see this, but it does cause a lot of havoc and makes a lot of cars pile up. Well, anyways, we're actually going to be taking some calls because of this, so Dylan over there says that we have one ready, so send him through, Dylan.
Oh, okay, Austin, but before I send him through, what do you think of my throwback?
No, Dylan, what in the world are you wearing?
Well, Austin, I figured if I really wanted to throw it back, I'd have to throw it back to when I was a baby.
No, get out of the Stag Studio right now. Get out right now.
Woo! Lawson.
Hello, Mom. You're on the AAA race show.
Well, Austin, I don't have much to say about the wreck, but what I do have to say is, you're my favorite kid. Just don't tell the other two I said that.
Well, Mom, I'm sure you don't mean that. I mean, I'm sure you like the other two just as much as me, even though I am so awesome and all.
Yes, Austin, you are awesome. You are the best kid out of the family.
Well, thanks for calling into the show today, Mom. Happy Mother's Day.
Well, thank you to the best and most awesome kid anyone could ever ask for.
I'll go ahead and end the call.
A few moments later.
Well, folks, since I had to do the call-ins today, Dylan, I don't even know what he's doing now, and trying to do a throwback, I guess. So, anyways, that was a big pile up there, and there was a lot of heavy damage on some cars. Well, moving on in the race, Kyle Larson gets the lead, and it looks like there is no looking back after the green flag pit stop. And there's a group of leaders, and William Byron has trouble. He was one of the leaders, so it looks like Kyle Larson's smooth sailing until the caution comes out. And that's whenever it stacks the entire field back up. Now, they go down to pit road, and Kyle Larson maintains the lead. Ross Chastain gets up in a second, and Kyle chooses the bottom. Ross chooses the top. Well, on the restart, Kyle Larson really pinches Ross up into that wall. So much so that Ross is bouncing off the wall and Kyle bouncing off Ross until Martin Truex Jr. gets loose going into the corner and spins himself across Joey Logano's nose and has to get out of the race. Martin Truex Jr., the only guy that had to get out of the race because of that incident. Well, NASCAR rules Ross Chastain as the official leader when the caution came out, so Ross gets lane choice this time, and he picks the bottom. Now, we're all thinking that, he's going to do the same thing that Kyle Larson did to him, and they have had a little bit of a getting into each other here in the past couple of races. Ross Chastain got into Kyle a couple races ago in stage 1, so they're not happy with each other, to say the least, and well, Ross gets loose underneath Kyle and comes right up into Kyle's nose and ends up turning himself into the wall and gets stuck on the nose of Kyle Larson. Now, I think this was a lot of hard racing. Ross Chastain is in the news a lot for things like this. It is a common denominator, as I said on the post-race coverage. But this was going for the win, and I think this is the time, if you're Ross Chastain, that you want to be really aggressive, because this is whenever it all counts. You can't let anyone go. So I think that was just really aggressive racing. But, of course, there are people that do not like Ross Chastain, and there are people that love him. And we've actually interviewed or talked to a couple fans here of Ross Chastain and a fan that's not of Ross Chastain. So let's go ahead and look at them now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh. Sorry, Coke. I didn't mean to wreck you. I just meant to rattle your cage. Ross Chastain strikes again.
Well, that was two sides of the story, but let's get back to the Cup Series race. Once Kyle Larson and Ross Chastain take themselves out of the picture, William Byron is back up to the lead after a bad pit stop. Looked like he was the only one of those guys running up front that was not going to be able to get a solid finish. Ends up getting the win for the 24 team and holding off Kevin Harvick, who is trying to get a win in his last season in NASCAR. I really want Kevin to do it. And he's going to have a really cool car next week at North Wilkesboro. But William Byron gets his third win of the season, 7th in his career, and 100th for the 24 car number. 93 by Jeff Gordon and 7 by William Byron. Really cool there because Jeff Gordon was there, and it was at a kind of an iconic track like Darlington. Plus, if you look at the paint schemes, this is Jeff Gordon's paint scheme from the 50th anniversary of NASCAR, and this is William Byron's paint scheme that's copied of Jeff Gordon's, but it has a 75th anniversary on there. So that is really cool how they did that, and he ended up getting the win. Really special for him. His sister was graduating, and his grandpa just passed away. So he said it was really cool how things work out like that. But what a great weekend in Darlington. And you always see a lot of cool paint schemes whenever you're in Darlington, but a couple of them aren't very good at all, to say the least. We saw a lot of really good ones this week. Chase Elliott, saw Noah Gregson's paint scheme was really cool. Plus, Cal Larson's paint scheme looked really awesome. But there were just a couple drivers that their paint schemes, I feel like they could be better. Now, some of this is the sponsors, and some of this is not necessarily the title sponsor, but secondary sponsors also have a big play in this. But here is Martin Truex Jr.'s car this weekend and Austin Dillon's car, and those could be really cool paint schemes. So, and they have been before, and I'm really excited to see whenever they can get a cool paint scheme on those guys again for Darlington. So hopefully that'll happen next year. Well, there were more series just besides NASCAR racing this week, and that was IndyCar and IMSA. Starting off with IndyCar. Fan out 5 wide. We were at the road course in Indy, and Alex Palou gets the lead from Christian Lundgaard early, and it looks like it's Alex Palou's day. No one can really challenge him. A couple spins throughout the race, but nothing too big. Colton Herta is on the charge through the entire race, but towards the end, he runs out of his push to pass and ends up not being able to make up too much more ground. Now, push to pass is a button on the steering wheel that basically gives you a boost in horsepower. It's kind of like DRS in Formula One, except it's not aero. It is with your motor. So they're different, but they're kind of the same thing. So Alex Palou gets the lead, and Pato O'Ward was pretty close coming out of the pits, but Alex Palou just keeps pulling away until he gets about a 14.5 second lead over second place. No one can touch Alex unless we have a full course caution, but that doesn't happen, and he comes home to win a GMR Grand Prix at Indy. So congratulations to Alex Palou on that. Now in IMSA, we're just going to keep it short and sweet today. Cadillac Racing with Sebastian Bourdais and Ringer Van de Zandvoort, they wreck in practice, they have to fix their car, start in the back of the race, but they make their way back through in that strong Cadillac power and win. So congratulations to Cadillac Racing on the big win in California. Well, we have so many races coming up next week, so let's go ahead and talk about them with On the Menu, brought to you by Big Easy Grill, the finest Cajun cuisine, located on East Sunshine at 417-832-0040. Great food, great experience, and make sure you tell them that Austin Aziz from the AAA Ratio sent you out there to get whatever you're craving that day. So much great food. And I saw him, if you're watching the coverage of the Cup race, saw him making some delicious fried bologna sandwiches down there. They look really good, but they can't look too good to someone who's been to Big Easy, because if you've ever had a Big Easy Grill fried bologna sandwich, then you can never go back to anything else. So that's why you need to go try it. They're on East Sunshine. Well, NASCAR Cup and Trucks will be racing at North Wilkesboro. NASCAR will have their All-Star race at 4:30 p.m. on Sunday. You can get that on FS1. And Trucks will be racing at 12:30 p.m. on Saturday, also on FS1. They'll have a Race Hub special on Wednesday and Thursday for North Wilkesboro. A lot of history in that track, and it's going to be really exciting to see the cars back on that track. They've fixed it all up, so make sure you tune into Race Hub on Wednesday and Thursday this week. Now, Formula One will be having round 6 at Italy, and that'll be Sunday at 8 a.m., and that'll be on ESPN, the whole race. No commercials in Formula One, so you don't have to sit through anything. It's just racing nonstop. I really like how they do that. So it's really cool how that all works out. Let's go ahead and move on to our local races, starting off with Twister Alley Raceway, which will be having regular racing plus their bike and Power Wheels race. Me and Dylan always love going out to Twister Alley Raceway, and we've been doing some special preparation to get ready for this race. So let's go ahead and play that now.
Well, Dylan, I think we finally got our Power Wheel ready for Twister Alley Raceway's bike and Power Wheels race this weekend.
Yeah, this car is awesome.
Dylan?
Yeah?
You think we should work on our go-karts? Nah, paddle is way cooler. That's what I was thinking. Well, Austin, let's show them what this thing can do. You said it, little brother.
Well, folks, me and Dylan are definitely excited for that race and excited to head out to Twister Alley Raceway this weekend. And the storms are starting to pick up outside, so you can hear the thunder a little, and it's raining. So those are the noises coming from outside the window over there. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the other races that are coming up this week. Starting off with Springfield Raceway, which is having Powder Puff races and weekly racing, plus Monette Raceway, which will be having Public Service Appreciation Night. 200 lap enduro plus regular racing. So a lot of great racing going on this week. Now, NASCAR's been naming their greatest 75 drivers for the past few months, and it's been really cool. All the history that these guys have, some of the resumes that these guys have is really impressive in the NASCAR Cup Series. But the final person to be on that list is my co-host here, Jimmy Johnson. So congrats, Jimmy. Way to wait till the last minute to get on the list. Always slacking off. Anyways, that was really cool to see that. And you see all that on the NASCAR app, all the guys that were inducted. Plus, you can see all that on ORP TV on all the guys that were on that greatest 75 list. Well, let's go ahead and get excited. Get Excited is brought to you by Top Limb Tree Service. Folks, if you need a trim, call up Top Limb at 417-880-7867. Toby, Cheryl, and the crew will come out to your house, take care of all your tree trimming needs. So, folks, if you need a trim, call up Top Limb. And like you hear these storms outside the window here, how do you think you're going to get those branches cleaned up? You don't want to do that yourself. You want to call Top Limb Tree Service because they'll get it taken care of for you so that you don't have to mess with it, and they'll get it all done right for you. Well, the 107th running of the Indy 500 is coming up here in a couple weeks. Awesome. Super excited for this race. Cannot wait to watch it. Plus, at Lucas Oil Speedway, they're having the 31st annual Show Me 100 and the 10th annual Cowboy Classic. Have late models and modifieds there. It's going to be a great night at Lucas Oil Speedway. But for all your racing news, make sure you head on over to ORP TV because Mr. Craig Stagner will tell you all you need to know about all the local races coming up next week. Results, birthdays, and a weather forecast. ORP TV has it all. So make sure you check them out on Wednesdays and Sundays. Now, one more track that we'll be racing this week is E3 Speedway, and they'll be having the Quarter Midgets, the Southwest Missouri Quarter Midget Association this week. Now, the Southwest Missouri Quarter Midget Association is a great way to get into racing. It's a quarter midget club, so they have all their own rules, and they go between Twister Alley Raceway and E3, and they'll actually be racing at both of them this week. So you can go check that out on Friday for E3 and on Saturday for Twister Alley to check out some awesome quarter midget action. Well, as we're ending our show here, we have one more segment, and that is this week's Quote of the Week, brought to you by Les Mallard Insurance out of Fairgrove, Missouri. Les Mallard, they take the hassle out of insurance. Now, you're always trying to look for the best deals, and sometimes, well, that could be a lot of long nights staying up. Well, Les Mallard Insurance does all that for you. They compare their rates with all the major companies so that you don't have to worry about what you're paying for your insurance, because they will find you the best deals on your insurance. So make sure you check them out in Fairgrove, Missouri. Schedule an appointment, go out there, and find out how you can join Les Mallard Insurance, because that's the best way to get your insurance done in the entire United States of America. Well, folks, this quote of the week is, "Mother love is a fuel that enables a normal human being to do the impossible." Marion C. Garrity. Now, that is an awesome thing, especially because it's Mother's Day, and all the moms out there do so much behind the scenes, especially my mom, Summer Aziz, bringing me to the racetrack. I've got to race so many races because of my mom, and preparing food, so many things like that she helps out with. She's the best mom in the world, so thank you so much, Mom. I love you so much, and couldn't ask for a better mom. But I think that about does it for us this week, folks. Thank you, everyone, for your support. Please make sure to like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. And I'm Austin Aziz, Woman for Hire, coming to you from the Stag Studio with my co-host over here, Jimmy, and Dylan the intern. And remember, folks, this show is brought to you by whatever Mom's making for dinner. And before you go, I want to wish a very happy birthday to Maylee Gruby, who turns 13 this Wednesday, May 17th. and have a great rest of your week.
If I gotta drive over the fool in front of me, man, to win, that's just racing.
Woo! We're streaking!